Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Lucier here, just checking in with everybody to make sure that we have a good connection and all that stuff. And I will make one quick change here because we've got a couple of minutes before everybody comes. And we are here starting in 2 minutes. Welcome to Instagram, folks. We are here. And I just wanted to add in a new banner that doesn't say my name is Dr. Jerry. So let's see if we can change that, and then we will begin. We will just have to go with that for today. So we will begin our tapping. It is just about 6 o'clock, and we welcome everyone here. And I want to go make sure that I have everything. We had 2 live streaming events. You can probably see Dr. Jerry was there. And we will begin. And I just want to get one more thing from my text messages here. Yes, I'm still here. So I will tap for Sherry, Esther, and Catherine. And Catherine, if you text me, I have some information about the eyes for us. And let's begin right now with Esther. Pain relief, bladder, and skin. And skin. So I wanted to first tell everybody about our great, exciting event that we had. So let's begin with our tapping, and I'll talk about our great event. We had an interview with Dr. Jerry, for our celebrity interview. Aloe vera, it was a 2-hour interview. It was a long one, but it was actually very good. It even had some before and after images. That should be saved to Facebook, at least 1, maybe 3 places. Actually, I think it's probably on our YouTube channel. So that would be good. Blood flow to the brain. How's everybody doing in these times of challenges? Seems we have another warmongering psychopath. So I have intrigued habitant. Okay, very good. So let's begin with Esther for her daughter for fertility, and for Esther, pain, bladder issues, and skin. Command points of the brain and brain stem. So everyone, for all things digestion, Lucy, yes, we sure will do that. Blood flow, nerve flow, that's our process. And don't forget, seats still available for the Tongren training. If you have the supplies already, if you don't, you can come anyway, sign up and join us. And then if you get the supplies later, you can repeat, no charge, come back to the course at another time. But looking for people to sign up. We've got quite a few people already. Blood flow, nerve flow down to the spine. So for pain, anti-inflammation, T12347. The bladder. So let's go to lumbar 1 to 5. So hopefully everybody's sitting, ideally feet flat on the floor, arms face up, and you can do your 4-6-6 breath. And we're going to do that right now. Breathe in. Everything is through the nose. Breathe in, count to 4. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose, count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hold your breath for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll activate your relaxation response. So lumbar 1 to 5, lumbar 3 for fertility, for Esther's daughter, and sacrum 1 to 5 for the bladder, entire bladder series and functionality. And down the legs. And then the vagus nerve, but let's go right to CV4, which is for the bladder and for fertility issues. CV4. So I see we have here shingles. I would definitely use the aloe gel for that, or the wheatgrass spray, both of which have similar effects, activating the ligands, reconnecting the mind-wound connection for healing. Thank you for joining us, Esther. Masterpiece Theater is over. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hopefully I don't know if I want to watch reruns. So if everybody would chime in, comparing, say, last week, you're better, worse, or the same, and see how you're doing, and we will go through your specific questions. Next, we have excited creature shingles. So that's an Epstein-Barr virus family of viruses. So there's a really good tincture. If you email me, I can send that to you. For EBV, you can do a round or 2 of that. That would help. And then to reduce this, I would definitely do clay baths as well as some aloe vera topically. Depends upon the pain and the if there are open wounds and different things like that. So let's work on the shingles. Blood flow to the brain. And specifically T4, 5, and 6. Outside of left breast. Okay, so we want to work on the immune system for shingles, but remember it's Epstein-Barr virus, dormant, coming out. So any antiviral stuff you can do T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T4, 5, and 6. Let's go on the ouch point areas. And the microbiome, which is our second human brain, but also the microbiome. And grounding, liver 3, and kidney 1. So next we work with Les AZ, then Lucy Bolton, and hopefully our friends on Instagram are going to come by. And let's do that now. Les, osteoblastic metastasis, that means bone marrow, a bone cancer spread in his bones, especially in his torso, which is causing him pain. He needs new healthy bones. They are knitting, which we've seen through the testing. And let me see, bone. Poultice, bone knitting poultice. Clay and Yarrow would be 2 of them. Blood flow to the brain, brain command points. Hello, Jim. Abdominal hernias, right side, type 2 diabetes, and Parkinson's. We'll spend a good amount of time because it's a core of many of those things together, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Thank you for joining. And I want to see if we have a lot of people. We do. We have quite a few people. And Henry is here. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. Henry, looks like you're in. You've gotten everything going, and we have someone from Instagram as well. 3 minutes ago, Henry, you've been here. Okay. So let's go continue with the bones for everyone. Bones and chi for perfect blood, which is also the bone marrow for happy mama. And from Jim, he says glucose readings improving since tapping. Using the laser and head we got from you. Yes, good. I just ordered some more of those. Good job. Yep, keep up the good work. Growth hormone for less, GV20, pituitary. Thanks, muchos gracias, señor. Good to see you, Jim. So, vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So let's really focus on osteo. Bones. Osteoblastic, which is the bone building counterpart to osteoclasts, which are breaking down or carrying away. So T1 for the bones. GP39 for the bones and the bone marrow. Craniosacral fluid for the bones and bone marrow as well. craniosacral fluid from the brain, the sphenoid bone area, and the ventricles to the tailbone. Tailbone 1, 2, 3, and 4. And from Instagram, we have mindful presence. T1, 2, and 3. Bones, lungs, and lymph. Lymph, also for less, also for happy mama. So for less, specifically the ribs, let's just work on the ouch point of the ribs, and in particular the turning area from the middle to the side for the ouch point for less. CV4 for the digestion, absorption, elimination, grounding to the feet, but also, again, the lymph and the spleen for happy mama. T6, left side, T3 for the lymph, and Kimby's is here, that's great. And grounding to stomach 36, liver 3. That's great. Next we have Lucy, and then we have Cool Human. So, all things digestion. So, we'll do our basic routine, blood flow to the brain, brain command points, brain stem command points, blood flow, nerve flow to the spine. So, digestion, absorption, elimination, T7 to T12. And the other part important for the digestion is the microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. So more fiber, less fat for Jim, for your glucose, less insulin resistance. But the aloe vera actually works to improve the insulin receptors, and was even shown to help out with brain insulin receptors, which is oxygen for the brain. And welcome, Emma. Good to see you. I'm hearing a strange noise. And just one moment, I will have to Slight issue there, but we're all set now. Sorry about that, folks. Continue on with the bones, bone marrow, and everything else. And grounding to the feet. Liver 3 and kidney 1. So let's work again on the digestion. So we work on a two-part process, the vagus nerve and CV4. Gut-brain axis. So that's to do everything, all things digestion. Pesky lymph node metastasis, absolutely. Grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1, Lucy. Okay, so next we have cool human Nitika, brain tumor after surgery. So inhalation of aloe and frankincense to cleanse and repair the brain. And let's work for blood flow to the brain. Right frontal lobe, GB13 right side, vision loss, which is the visual cortex. GB19 right side. And you are next, Jim. Vision loss, numbness on right side of the face, so blood flow to the brain. Make sure you get plenty of vitamin B12. For repair, I would definitely put, wherever the surgery was, I would put aloe there or spray the wheatgrass. Frankincense, aloe vera, and anti-inflammation, and the connection of all the nerves. Make sure we can see the entire spine. Command points of the brain and brain stem, GB789. Numbness on the right side of the face. So right frontal lobe, C1, GB13. Those work together. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. Hemoglobin, blood marrow, bone marrow, T1. Nerves for the arms, brachial plexus, nerves for the legs and tingling feet, lumbosacral plexus. And again, GB13, frontal lobe, right side, that's also for emotional balance. And grounding to liver 3. In Tong for the brain, GP13, left side, right side for the brain. Liver 3 and kidney 1. And coming up is CIRS. I'm not familiar with that. So if you could give me a little information on that, unless you get it on the next section. Oh, chronic inflammatory response. Okay, got it. So we work with Jim, abdominal hernia. And type 2 diabetes and Parkinson's. So definitely get tested for Epstein-Barr virus, and then also would increase your fiber, decrease your animal non-fiber foods. And yes, we will treat breakthrough COVID for everyone as well. Christy. Anti-inflammation for Jim. And Kimby, did you try that video, the technique for the bone healing? It basically puts energy in C6, C7, T1 with our hands and energy healing. So really focus on the pancreas, T8. And for Parkinson's, we focus on the brain, C3, C1, 2, and 3, and the substantia nigra part of the brain. There's a great herb for Parkinson's. It's called Mucuna pruriens. It's a classic herb from Ayurvedic medicine for any of the symptoms that you may have of Parkinson's. And then definitely work on your gut, eliminate constipation, really strong probiotics. Because a lot of times the gut is the source for the Parkinson's. Migration of rogue proteins from the gut to the brain, mucking up and clogging up the brain, cause the issues. Yep, the working on the gut biome will help with the diabetes and the Parkinson's as well. And then we don't want to forget, you also have the notation there for the abdominal hernia. So vertebral arteries, spinal artery, anti-inflammation for Jim. Great probiotics are from Dr. Ohita from Japan. Fermented foods and food-based probiotics are always the best. Sauerkraut, gut shot, kimchi. And your next Kimby's. Actually, Emma is next, and then Kimby's. We'll do you together. We will work on those pesky lymph nodes. T8 for the pancreas, lumbar 1 to 5. But definitely check out Mucuna pruriens for the Parkinson's, probiotics from Dr. Ohira for the gut, and fermented foods. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay, so let's tap for those, the pesky lymph nodes, and for the abdominal hernia, and for the detoxing, adrenal health, and bones, broken bones for Kimby's, blood flow to the brain command points for bones, for growth hormones, vertebral artery to the spinal artery, and to the lymph. The largest lymph node is the spleen, T7 left side. T7 left side, lymph for Emma. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for detoxing, and especially T9, T4 for the skin and the liver. And the microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. But for the broken bone, T7 right side, and then the ouch point of the feet. So let's do a lymph node tune-up for everyone, and also cover the abdominal hernia area. So the axillary lymph, axillary lymph, of the armpits, and then the inguinal lymph of the groin and the abdominal hernia area. And we have a new person. From Instagram. But again, those lymph, CV17 for Emma. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. And we don't want to miss depression, GB13 in Tong area. And the microbiome, because most neurotransmitters are generated in the gut, not in the brain, like serotonin. So you want to make sure you have plenty of fermented foods and high fiber diet. Okay, grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So next we will be working on COVID and also for chronic inflammatory response, same areas. So I'd like to know, any people here saw the interview with Dr. Jerry, the aloe expert? But let's work next on chronic inflammatory response, immune system, low back pain, blood flow to the brain. Yes, Emma, I thought it was an excellent interview. It was long, but it was our kind of interview for sure. And we had pictures. And we'll do it again. She wants to interview again. Next, we have Dr. Wheatgrass. So I guess I'll make some announcements. We have Dr. Wheatgrass coming up 4 times this year because it's so important. Hopefully Dr. Jerry will come back. That might be the pattern going forward. A couple of times for the aloe, 2 to 4 times for the wheatgrass. We have a couple of celebrities from, or I shouldn't say celebrities, but high qualified, high skilled masters in Australia working to line up vertebral artery to spinal artery. And yes, we'll work on the oxygen in just a moment. So T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, the immune system. It's immune system part 1. So if there's a chronic inflammatory response, number 1, you want to find out what's triggering it. And number 2, work on boosting the immune system so it's not triggered by the process. So the microbiome part 2, T11, T12, L4, L5. Lower back. So the gut part 1, gut part 2. And then we go to the gut part 3, CV4. 70% of our immune system is in the gut. If you imagine that every day we are confronted by 100 million viruses, the first place for that is our gut and where we interface with the world. So we're going to continue with the detox, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, which is also, we're going to focus on COVID, recovering from breakthrough COVID. So all the basics, I'll list for everyone for COVID: vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, quercetin, iodine, pine needle tea, triple blend I recommend, which is fenugreek, star anise, and dandelion. And natto, of course, because it's also anti-coagulatory. COVID breakthrough, and then next is oxygen. Let's make sure. Breathing and lungs. I'll tap for myself. Breathing and lungs for Leah. Blood flow to the brain, vertebral artery, spinal artery. Bones for AML, for intrigued specimen. You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Mermaid. T123478 for breakthrough COVID and chronic immune system response. T123478, T11, T12, L4, L5. And Valerie is giving us some feedback on our interview. I use the aloe. She gets good benefit from the aloe to bring down nocturnal high blood pressure. Takes it down in seconds. That's awesome. Great news. Hello, Dave. Also, Dave will be signing up for clay treatments. So we have a March colon cleanse coming up, and there's still time to join on that. And then April, we have a detox cleanse, and you can do one or both. They're both very beneficial. Thank you for joining us, Valerie. Good to see you. So let's work for Bruce for breathing and lungs, and AML for chemo side effects. We'll continue to work on that, and liver support. Blood flow to the brain, and begin to work on the eyes for your mom, Paris. So oxygen medicine, oxygen. I actually have a complete workshop on oxygen cellular medicine, or it's called Just Breathe. Tell everything about how to get more oxygen into the body and how to make the oxygen you get more efficient. Françoise Chevalier from Paris, France. It's late there, but thank you for joining. We're always a multi-country, multinational, multi-continent group. Bone marrow also for the breakthrough COVID. C3 for the eyes, ears, and nose for your mom. So now let's focus on the breathing and the lungs. So oxygen, the bone marrow produces hemoglobin, which carries oxygen around the body. So we want that to do well. T2, T3 for the lungs. C6 for the diaphragm, which manages lung capacity. T123478, anti-inflammation. Heartburn. So pH adjust or any bicarbonate of soda would be really good, or even just apple cider vinegar in the morning would be great. For eyesight, aloe vera gel in the eyes, I was told. I'm about to do it myself. For a happy stranger, heartburn, T789, 10, 11, 12. Lungs, again for Bruce, T3 for lungs and T6 for lung capacity, and CV17 critical for the lungs. And some special Chinese points, lung 1, lung 2. So this Saturday we have the Be Your Own Healer Tongren training. March 12, we have our colon cleanse. April, I don't remember the exact date, but we have them a month apart, so you can do a colon cleanse and a detox cleanse. 2 in a row like that, spaced aside properly. So let's work on the dantian areas, also known as the chakras. Intang, third eye, CV17 for the heart chakra, and CV4. So for COVID as well, we'll do that again for the immune, for Ame, and we're going to work for Liam and Jay, those 3 people as well. So continue with the laser on CV17 is one of the best things for the breathing in the lungs. Very important. So next we have Brave Humanoid, breast cancer metastasized to the liver and spine, distended stomach, don't want to do chemo. Broccoli sprouts is like doing chemo without the side effects. Vertebral artery, spinal artery, T1, 2, 3, 4 for the breast cancer area. So for metastases, for everyone, there are 2 main techniques. One is micronutrients from Dr. Rath, R-A-T-H. And the second one is infrared light, which is known to be anti-cancer metastases. And we finally got to you, Henry. You're next. Took a few minutes, but we can do it. So distended stomach, we work on the kidneys. L1, L2. So what's the most nutrient-dense food in the world? Sea vegetables, seaweed. Grow up to 2 feet a day. Sustainable. And work on the liver. T9, right side, stomach. T9, left side. So T9, left side, right side. Kidney for the distended stomach. Spleen 6 for the distended stomach as well. Vertebral artery, spinal artery, but then the vagus nerve, to the liver area. Activate the entire spine. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. But for everyone, thank you for joining. See if we have any questions. Any specific questions for today? Are you doing better, worse, or the same? Jim is doing great. Dave and Valerie are doing great. Next, we tap for esophageal cancer for Fran. So the question is, will aloe help with digestive issues related to mold and Lyme? Yes, and yes, and yes. Number one, it is cooling and reparative for the gut and the digestive tract. Number one. Number two, it is alkalizing, which is anti-mold and anti-Lyme. And number three, has a lot of macrophage activity, which will clean up the entire area. So yes, aloe vera would be a win-win-win for you indeed. And I can send you all links to the aloe vera with discounts because we like to have discounts. Blood flow to the brain and esophageal cancer. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. T7, T8, T9 for the pancreas, for the esophagus. Kimby's, yes, I did your requests. Absolutely. So let's do the whole esophagus area from the front, the back, and the front. CV4, CV12 for the esophagus. And oxygen medicine for anti-cancer. Phrenic nerve, CV17, the dynamic duo. Triple dynamic trio, because we also use lung 1 and lung 2, which is similar to the long thoracic nerve. The Ayurvedic mentioned would be Mucuna, M-U-C-U-N-A, space pruriens, P-R-U-R-I-E-N-S, Mucuna pruriens, also known as velvet bean. It is brilliant for that. And eye strain, C3. Blood flow for the eyes, sky window. Occipital artery for the eyes as well. GB17 for pressure to the eyes. Do I have any biohacks for brain inflammation? Yes, actually I do. What you would do is you put a steam bowl and inhale frankincense. That would be one of the first options to actually do that. You can use you can atomize aloe, inhale it that way. Neti pots with aloe is a good option. because you will access the brain from the sinuses. Those are a couple of hacks. Is there a replay for the Aloe interview? Yes, on Anusara Wellness on my Facebook page. It will be there till the end of time. Seems people liked the interview. It was long, but it was great. So brain, and let's continue with Gyongyi, brain energy, and UR, and pelvic inflammation. So blood flow to the brain right away. So for any cancer, you want to eat wheatgrass shots. Wheatgrass juice shots would be a great option. Aloe vera with the Essiac herbs is another great option. And broccoli sprouts is a third excellent option. Command points to the brain. So we have a colon cleanse and a detox cleanse. It's kind of the two-part process to really create a good baseline of health. In 2 days, we teach to be your own healer, and a new workshop called Oxygen Cellular Medicine, basically increasing oxygen, reducing cancer and inflammation. And there are different ways to do that with special water, special breathing devices like these. And I want to make sure everybody gets a good understanding of all of that. Pelvic inflammation, so T7 right side for the pelvic area, lumbosacral plexus for the pelvic area, and the Huayin, which is the root chakra area. And continue with the brain energy. Sky window to the brain, vertebral artery to the brain, and occipital artery to the brain. And inflammation, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for all COVID. So Doug, let me know if you got that spelling. If not, I will type it in. M-U-C-U-N-A, first word. Second word, pruriens, P-R-U-R-I-E-N-S. T4 for the breast. And the blood flow, nerve flow. So the nerve flow is the breast. Blood flow at the mammary arteries. CV4 also for Faris's mom for the acid reflux. So the vagus nerve, gut brain axis for sure. CV4. Great, Doug. Yep. There's a good company, Himalaya brand, Himalaya brand. They have really good quality. Get organic velvet bean, and that would be a good idea. That would help a lot, as well as good probiotics for the gut. Those two things. And here we go. Grounding, liver 3, and kidney 1 for everyone. And for everyone, one more, CV17 for the lungs, for breathing, for long-term COVID, for lung cancer, for oxygenation, which is anti-cancer and anti-inflammation. Thank you all for joining. So grounding, liver 3, and kidney 1. So we'll do a little bit of Qigong for everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's my honor and pleasure to be here with all of you. These mini Tongren sessions are good. They continue the momentum. I suggest highly to continue almost daily if you can, if you really need it. Of course, always complementing with oxygen medicine, nutrition, plant-based nutrition, socializing, spiritual activities, all of those things. So we will play. Yes, the phrenic nerve, especially for those wearing masks, to give oxygenation and helping with the masks themselves. So here we will play the tone. Thing it looks like. Whoop, there we're back. Hopefully it's there. Thank you for joining. Be kind to one another. Hydration, cleansing, Tongren, all those things. If you have any questions about any of these things, feel free. If you want to jump on Zoom, I can send you a link for a 15-minute just to talk and chat in person. Happy to do that. And to answer your questions, that's why I'm here, to help you all out. Thank you very much, and blessings to everyone. And there's a comment that dark chocolate put weight on. Not sure why that would happen, because it should increase the adrenaline and the metabolism or make you more hungry. I'm not sure. We can talk about that. Thanks, and have a great day.